Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here, back with another part of What If Naruto Was Raised by the Sannin. And if you haven't, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And without further ado, let's continue our story. Chapter 17. Naruto-kun. Hako sat sticking her head in his room, only to find him gone. She checked the other rooms, with no success. Lady Tsunade? Yes, what is it? Do you know where Naruto-kun is? The Otonins were not amused. Link break. This is considered to be kidnapping. Kakashi Hatake looked at the blonde tied to the pole, his lone eye shaped like a U. Forgive me for the way our meeting is going, but I had need to speak with you. And while I think I nearly convinced Lady Tsunade to allow me to speak with you, but it would have been supervised. Naruto snorted, his hands forming pure chakra blades as he began to slice his bones. I do believe I said you had nothing I wanted to hear. Kakashi shrugged. Be that as it may. He sat down across from Naruto. I did you a disservice the day you were born. I know, Kasan told me how the village treated me on the day QB attacked after my own father sealed the Nine-Tails fox inside of me. Kakashi looked down. My only apology is that I was not in the right frame of my mind after hearing the death of my sensei and his wife. I was filled with grief and it controlled my actions. Naruto shrugged a shoulder. If that is all, I have things to do. No, it's not all, Kakashi said. There are things you need to know, things I can tell you about your father. Harake-san, let me be blunt. Ero-sanin has taught me everything my father knew. He's told me about my parents as well. There is nothing you can say that will surprise me, I think. Kakashi looked at him and was about to respond when the wall exploded in and a pissed off Tsunade led the way. Behind her were several Konoichis. This is going to hurt, isn't it? Hatake asked in a moment of clarity. Better believe it, bub. Naruto muttered, watching as the girls he knew proceeded to turn the Konoha journey into a frozen pummeled pincushion with bruises. Before a pissed off slug Sanin punch sent him flying across Konoha into a Hokage monument. Said females then turned to the wounded Naruto, who deactivated his chakra blade. Ladies, Kasan, he said. You are in a big trouble, mister, his mother said. It's not my fault, Naruto said, hoping to forego any repercussions. Link break. Naruto looked at the bones. You know, not that I wouldn't object to being tied to the bed, but I usually pictured it with less clothes and only one girl. Kin and Hanku blushed while Tamari snorted. What can we say? We want you. The fan user said with a perfectly straight face. Kimimaro was not happy he lost you, Kin said. Come on, ladies. I didn't go with Hatake willingly. He was in here when I entered and sunshined us away and had me hog-tied before I could say boo. Which was stupid of him, considering that Natas kidnapped the Uchiha, Tamari said. Will you please untie me now? Naruto asked. Aku reached for it, but Anko entered. Nope. Nei-chan! I'm trying to think of a reason not to use the handcuffs jutsu to bind you to me until we're out of this hellhole. It's not that bad, Aku said. Girlie, if I had a choice between living here or in hell, I'd rent this place out and live in hell. Uncle said. What's wrong? Naruto asked. Uncle O is meeting with Konoha Council right now. They want us to hand you over to them so they can trade you for the Uchiha. Naruto nodded. And where is Kasan? She's having a word with Hatake. I think she was about to give him a full exam. Naruto winced. And Teropop? Where else? Uncle asked with a smirk. He never changes, Naruto said with a sigh. Now let me go. If it's as bad as you say, having me lose to defend myself would be the right course of action. Uncle sighed and nodded. Haku released him as she was leaning over him. She shot him a grin and kissed him. Hey! Three voices laced out. A pissed off Anko was kicking the girls from the room while Tamari and Kin were yelling about unfair. Naruto smirked as Anko slammed the door after herding the last Konoichi from the room. You know, Anko Ne-chan, you can't keep girls away from me forever, Naruto said, rubbing his wrist. Want to bet? I'm not Kasan. I actually have luck. You forgot? Naruto fired back. Anko grabbed a chair, spun it around and startled it. Kidding aside, I'm curious which one will get through and claim you. Naruto laughed. Maybe it's a Konoha Konoichi. I saw a Hyuga. I could get too faint or blush with a look and a wink. Stay away from Konoha crowd. You have three girls that will kill for you already, Naruto smiled. So you're saying, make a harem or something like that? Uncle sighed. You know, I believe it would take all three to keep you out of the trouble. It's not my fault everyone wants me, Naruto said with an innocent look. Anko snorted. You okay? Naruto asked. Anko shot him a look. I know how you feel about Kabuto. You don't need to pretend with this about this matter with me, sis. Anko looked away. I want the bastard who did that to him. Anko admitted. Even with his advanced healing factor, he's in critical. Well, we'll get him. I promise you. Nadas and his freaks will pay. Anko nodded, blinking several times to clear her eyes. Don't take stupid risks, kid. It's me, you forgot. Naruto said, That's what I'm talking about. I didn't forget. I'm afraid that I will lose you to those freaks. The siblings sat in silence for a while. Why didn't Kasa want Haku and Kin out of the finals? Naruto asked. Anko sighed. I'll be the first to admit, Haku is damn scary, especially with those ice mirrors, but she wants them to be fully rested in case Natas tries something. Haku is in the best defense we have against Sub-Zero. Naruto was twitching his foot. You want to go train? Anko asked. Hell yes. Neither could sit still for long, and being cooped up in the hotel was driving them insane. Naruto pinned a note to the bed, and they sunshined away. Link break. Kimimaro sighed as he watched the siblings spar. It followed them, and he had to admit to himself he was amazed that they stayed in one place for so long. Anko needed to vent about what happened to Kabuto, and Naruto's energetic ways left no room for him to be confirmed without millions in property damage. Why the fuck are they all the goddamn way out in the middle of bum fuck nowhere? Tayuya asked, leaning against a tree. Kimaru remained quiet. He knew of the Sound 4, Tayuya would be the best besides himself to protect Naruto from the outside harm. The explosion blues showed the siblings laughing as more explosions sounded around them. That is some fucked up shit, don't you think? The redhead muttered. It is how they bond, I think, the bone user said. They watched as Naruto altered between 6 different fighting styles, Anko own Hibi style keeping her in motion as they went to pure taijutsu. He is cute, if you're into that shit, you know. Kimimaro sighed. Can you be quiet for 5 minutes? Fuck no. Oh, Blondie got moves. Wonder if I should get me some as his fan club isn't around. Kimimaro sighed. The amount of girls seeking the blonde was growing. When I swore to protect him, who knew it would become like this? Shit. He looked at Tayuya's curse and saw the blonde flying at them at high speed. Before he could move, the redhead was leaping from the tree and catching the blonde. They landed with a thump. Naruto looked at his savior. Hey Tae-chan, what did you do that for? What the fuck do you mean what I did do that for, you shit stain? You would have bounced off that tree, broken in two, you dumbass. Anko was there. You okay, bro? Yeah, Tai-chan said I would have bounced. Anko shrugged. Whoops. Both laughed. Crazy fuckers. Kimimaro above sighed. Too close. Link break. Anko and Kimimaro watched from the shadows. I can't believe she asked him out. Kimimaro remained silent. I mean, the most abrasive of the lot froze when he turned those big blue eyes on her after she caught him, and she stuttered like a schoolgirl. Anko continued. Kimimaro remained quiet, his eyes watching the pair at the ramen stand, eating and talking. Taiyo was still abrasive and vulgar self, but it didn't bother Naruto. He was talking about a fight from the forest and gesturing about with his chopsticks. This is going to cause trouble, the leader of the Sound 5 said. Bah, it's just make the competition tighter. I know they'll all want to take him out now. Kimimaro shot her a side look. You actually want one of them to date him? Hell yeah. I just enjoy putting them all through the ringer. I want to make sure their dedication is to only my little brother. Kimimaro sighed. I should rotate her of Naruto's detail if she's going to have an emotional attachment. Like hell you will, Uncle said. She'll fight to protect him and much more, and you'll be able to sleep more than 2.5 hours without waking up and worrying about anything, especially him. Kimimaro said, I failed twice already. Natas and his team got too close and Hatake kidnapped him from under our noses. You're allowed to make mistakes, just learn from them. Besides, Naruto thinks you're one of the best ninja we have. And who is the best? Me, obviously, Uncle said with a grin. Her eyes narrowed. Uh-oh. They watched as Tayuya used the excuse of Naruto having ramen on his chin to steal a kiss. Is that tongue? And I thought Haku's stole kiss was something come up for air used to. she muttered as Teuya was like a pirate and plundered Naruto's mouth. Any time now, Anko said. They watched the redhead spin Naruto's stool and straddle him. Okay, that's enough. Anko vanished with a sunshine and reappeared behind the pair. Time out, she said and grabbed the foul-mouthed Konoichi, who started swearing the minute her mouth was separated forcefully from Naruto's. Said blonde was in daze, a grin formed on his lips as he stared off into space. Kimamaru sighed as Toyo was getting inventive with her words and descriptions. He didn't know what an elephant was, but he was certain it wouldn't fit in the area she was telling Anko to put it in. Chapter 18. He did what? Anko snickered as Haku, Kin, and Tamari rounded and glared at Tayuya, who smirked and made a kiss face before leaving to continue her guard duty. Naruto, however, wasn't as lucky as three pairs of eyes focused on him. The feeling of being trapped became stronger as the gathered girls took a step forward him. Naruto looked around in a panic and his prayers were answered. Hey Gaki, want to? Jiraiya entered the room. He was grabbed by the arm as Naruto dragged him out. Yes, Kami, whatever it is, get me out of here. He dragged his father-like figure out of the room. Jiraiya looked at him. What was that about? Uh, let's just say I owe you one and it'll be I keep Kasan off your back while you work on your next book, Naruto said as they walked the corridor. Jiraiya smiled as it passed. He just got in. What did you want, Aeropop? What? Oh, that. You want to listen to the bullshit that the Konoha Council is trying to get Orochimaru to agree to? Does Uncle like tango? Naruto asked back with a grin. Link break. Council, Konoha Chambers. You will surrender Naruto Uzumaki to us, or what? Orochimaru asked, quirking an eyebrow as he crossed his arm. You seem to think Otogakure answers to you. I am the Kage of Oto is not recognized as a powerful in the nations. You have no right to call yourself Kage, a councilman snapped. Do you really want to piss me off? More elders. Oto is not answerable to Konoha. Fine. As the duly appointed leader of Otogakure, I deny your request of the transfer of Uzumaki Naruto to your also scrumptious hand. Orochimaru said with as much sarcasm as he could. You had no elder. You best not finish that sentence, Orochimaru said. Isani legally adopted Naruto. He's our and you bunch of old farts can kiss my baby smooth pale ass. I will destroy this village before I hand over my boy to a bunch of traitors who did nothing but try and kill him over 3 years ago. He looked at Sarutobi. I am sorry, but due to actions of your council, Lord Hokage, I am hereby withdrawing my remaining teams, and we are leaving. You cannot do that, several voices called out. Why not? Orochimaru asked, crossing his arms and raised an eyebrow. You would condemn Sasuke Uchiha for the sake of the demon? Hamura, one of the former Hokage's teammates, asked. Uchiha means nothing to me, Orochimaru said. You all seem to forget one again. I am the leader of Otogakure and not a part of Konoha. Because of your lax security measures, 2 of my Genins are dead, and the third one is in critical condition. Of course, our plan was to apply the seal and remove the Sharingan from Set Uchiha and destroying Konoha's biggest bullshit Kekkei. Orochimaru, while prodigy, believed in hard work. The Sharingan was a shortcut and he hated it when he was younger, and as a leader of his own village, he saw it as a danger. Thus, the plan was to remove it, but now Nata has it, and he wants Naruto to compete in the finals. That alone is sending danger warnings up my spine. Tsunade gone mental, and Kimamaru has this Sound 5 rotating their shifts between protecting me and Naruto. Orochimaru, Sarutobi said calmly while he lit his pipe. What will it take for you to keep your teams in the Chunin exams? Orochimaru pretended to think it over. He knew Naruto would take part, despite the knockdown drag-out arguments with his mother. Naruto was not giving up. He wanted to show them what the son of Sannin can do. Mentally smiling, he allowed his serpentine eyes to drift over to the Council of Konoha. Bastard doesn't deserve to live. I am so tempted to declare war on Konoha just for their stupidity about Naruto. But Tsuhime has said we are to be on our best behavior. You have nothing we of the Hidden Village want. Orochimaru said finally. Lord Orochimaru, Hyuga said. What of an alliance by marriage? The Hyuga clan leader said Hiyashi had spoken with his daughter, who told him of her reaction to the blonde Otonin. To the rest of Konoha, the Hyuga council, he seemed to be cold and uncaring about his eldest daughter, but within the walls of his own estate, he loved his daughter and talked with her often. The deception they put up for the others that he was uncaring bastard was for her protection. Between Orochimaru asked, Wukon had spied on Naruto during the exams and told him how the Hyuga heroes had reacted and how the other girls reacted to her as well. He thought with a mental smirk, Naruto Uzumaki and my daughter, Hinata Hyuga. It would form an alliance between Ota and Konoha, and between the Sannin and the Hyuga. Orochimaru cocked his head. I will need to speak with Naruto and Tsunade. I will not force a marriage upon him, no matter the political reason behind it. And I will not hand any kind of control of Naruto into Konoha's hand. Link break. Naruto listened as his adopted uncle spoke to the council of Konoha. Man, they have way too much power for a body that is supposed to advise Hokage and do his paperwork, the blonde thought. He nearly choked on air as Hyuga mentioned marriage. What? I'm too young, mentally Naruto railed. And next to him, he could feel Jiraiya shake with his restrained laughter. Sunshine away, he led the Toad Sannin under the Genjutsu and appeared on the Hokage monument. Jiraiya appeared moments later. What's wrong? Uncle Orochi is going to have to make the marriage. The blonde said, What, Gaki? Is gonna to think about it? Jiraiya said. Naruto stood atop of the image of the fourth Hokage looking out over Konoha. He'll think about it, but I already know that in order to get what he wants for later on, he's going to marry me to the Hyuga girl. Don't get me wrong, she's cute in that mousy type of shy girl way that makes me think she's going to be a wildcat in the bedroom. Naruto smirked at the look on his adopted father figure face. Pervert, he muttered. And I know he's going to do everything possible in the marriage contract to limit Konoha's contact with me. But it will happen, he smiled. I wonder why the Hyuga leader even suggested it. What do you mean? Jiraiya asked with surprise. Uncle Orochi knew there would be a political marriage somewhere down the road. We talked about it before we left Oto. He thought he would have to be the one to bring it up or hint around it. The Hyuga brought it up, meaning there is something he wants. We're getting too good at this, Kaki, Jiraiya said, shaking his head. What do you expect, Era Pops? I've been training by the legendary three since before I could walk. And in what Auntie Zune teaches me, Kimemaru and his four. Jiraiya smirked. Along what your prospective girlfriends teach you, Naruto blushed then paled. Oh Kami, what am I gonna do about them? Lucky, you're thinking like a regular ninja here. But you aren't, clearly, Jiraiya said with a huge grin. What do you mean? Naruto asked. Jiraiya put an arm over the blonde teen's shoulder and gave him a lecherous grin. I mean, as the last Uzumaki and Namikaze, as well as our child, you fall under Clan Restoration Act. Heh, you, my boy, get to have numerous wives. Minimum of 4. Naruto closed his eyes. Kasan's going to kill me. Jiraiya laughed as he started to explain the Naruto his ultimate defense of Chakra Shield and how to land after one of Tsunade's thunderous hits. Link break. Spell. Taiya found herself surrounded on 3 sides and her back to the wall. Kin, Haku, and Tamari were all armed, 2 with Senbon needles and the other blonde was holding bladed battle fans closer to her neck. Spill what ya take? Thea said and found a Senbon needle buried in the wall, a centimeter from her head. The coldness of it told her it was Haku. You think you can kiss Naruto and get away with it? Kin said. You're supposed to protect him, not molest him, Tamari said as she snapped open a blade fan and held it inches from the redhead necks. He's mine. Hell no, he's not, bitch. After the reaction on he got while sitting in his lap as we kissed, he definitely interested in me and not some bitch that blows a big flute player and I see here. You 3 are out of the running and our next date. I'm going to claim him. There won't be next date, you foul-mouthed whore, Kin snarled. Yeah? And what do you think you and your skinny ass can do to stop me? Unlike you 3, I actually felt what he's packing. And let me say, it's long, it's hard, and with his stamina, it will be a ride of a lifetime. Eyes formed on the wall behind her, and she looked to see Haku's eyes white and frost forming in her hair. Tamari went into a battle stance. Before anything else could be done, the four Konoichi were wrapped in sand, and their eyes went to the door, where Gaara stood not looking happy. Lady Tsunade and Lord Orochimaru wishes to speak to you 4. I suggest you cool your lions. And why the fuck should we do that, Sandy? Taiya asked. Because it is about Naruto, and I don't think Lady Tsunade is in the best of moods, as she isn't drinking and Shizune isn't in the room. Four set of eyes widen. Anko is retrieving Lord Jura and Naruto right now. Whatever this is, it isn't good. Gara walked away, the sand around them dissolving and flowing, following him like a lost puppy. I didn't know he could talk so much, Tayuya said. He usually doesn't. He and Naruto seems to communicate with looks and grunts, Kin admitted. However, it gotten better. That's the most he said with Naruto not here, Kin said as she slipped her sunburns away. Tamar looked at where her brother had gone before she slipped the battle fans away. We better go. Whatever has Lady Tsunade mad isn't good, and it was about Naruto too. Chapter 19. You're joking, right? Orochimaru looked at Naruto with a raised eyebrow. Of course he's joking, Naruto-kun, Hako said, and Kin and the others looked at the sannin slash leader of Otogakure. Their gazes telling him he better be joking. It is not joke. Orochimaru began, but he leapt aside as Tsunade fist took out the wall he'd been leaning against. I told you, never. My uncle and grandfather never wanted those laws. They were passed by stupid civilians looking for ways to marry into the clans. Hime, please, Shiraya began. Don't hime me, you bastard. You know how I feel about this. It's one thing for Naruto to date several girls, but there will be only one fucking wife, and she sure as hell isn't going to be some slip of a girl he never met other than in passing. Haku, Kin, Tamari, and Tayuya were sharing looks and similar thoughts. Naruto was looking at Gaara, who Naruto would swear was laughing behind his sand armor, while the sand kept the face impassive. Orochimaru sighed. I swore I would talk with Naruto. I did. He's not doing it. Fuck your agenda, Orochimaru. Tsunade said. Many thoughts Tayuya had a foul mouth. They were never around Tsunade when she was well and truly pissed off. Those that were didn't remember, like due to the conscience from her finger flick of doom. Hime, I understand and I won't. Orochimaru was saying, but Tsunade wasn't in the mood to be placated. Damn right you won't. You march your pale skinny ass back there and tell the Hyugas and the rest of those old bastards they can take the Hokage monument and shove it. Knocks were heard at the door. What? The door slipped open and Seikon opened the door. Sorry to interrupt, but there is a small group of Hyugas at the door asking to see Naruto-sama and Lord Orochimaru. Tsunade growled and her eyes looked on Orochimaru. Thank you, Seikon, but put them in the waiting room and have tea prepared, Orochimaru said. The door slid shut. Oh, you are not fucking Tsunade, Orochimaru said, his voice even. As I said, I'm not forcing Naruto to do this. Serpent-like eyes rested on the blonde. Force no, but you put a guilt trip you would. Tsunade looked at her adopted son. Naruto, don't do this out of duty. Your uncle is playing a game and I for one don't like it. Naruto looked straight ahead, his gaze not meeting any of the girls who all were looking at him as a hawk watches a mouse. I know Uncle Orochi is playing a game. A large-scale game of living shogi. It is wise, like yours, is drinking and gambling, and Aeropop is peeping on the women's bath. 6 girls filled the room and Naruto knew Shizune was with the others. Jiraiya Whimper told him he knew he was dead man walking now. However, while the game is in play, we should use every mean. I'm not saying I agree to the marriage, but Naruto no. Ako said first, her hand touching his forearm. Temari, Tayuya, and Kin all put hands on his shoulder. Orochimaru stood. I will go and speak with the Hyugas. He smiled at Tsunade, who was on her feet. And you will tell them that Naruto isn't going to marry. First off, he's too young, and secondly, she looked at the 4 girls. He's already got a prospective girlfriend. Naruto looked at the 4 girls who were giving him the look, and he shuddered. I'll come with you to disappoint the Hyugas, uncle. He said and wasn't out the door, Jiraiya's laugh chasing after him, which was soon cut off as Jiraiya made a new skylight in the room, thanks to a Tsunade-packed punch. Link break. Thank you for meeting us, Lord Orochimaru. Hayashi Hyuga said once Orochimaru was seated across from him and his daughter. Naruto took a seat nearly his adopted uncle and his eyes on the pale-eyed girl from the exams. I have spoken with my nephew, Orochimaru began, but Hayashi held up a hand. Please, before you deny me this chance to save my daughter, allow me to speak. Orochimaru nodded. He had a feeling that the Hyuga was looking for more than he said in the council chambers. May I speak freely? Here, Lord Orochimaru, Yashi asked. You may. Naruto has my confidence, and if a person gets past the sound 5, well, I'm well aware of the amount of damage that could take. The snake son said with a smirk. Yashi looked at his daughter. I wouldn't force a marriage on my daughter either. I asked, I beg of you, however, to take her to Oto. The Hyuga elders wish to mark her. Even though she is eldest, they find her lacking due to her kindness to others. Orochimaru scowled. And you allowed them to continue to have power, Yashi sighed. Much has changed since the Sannin were in Konoha. Clan councils have more power than clan heads, and the village council that once was only an advisory role to the Hokage now wields power that could upset his. Orochimaru sighed. Saratobi Sensei mentioned this in his private talks with me, he said softly. You know what the council wants with the boy, Yashi said, his eyes landing on Naruto, who gave a lopsided grin. They can try. Like your father, Yashi muttered. Orochimaru laughed. Minato was a character, all right. He looked at the girl, who was looking at his adopted nephew, and he chuckled. What will you have me to do, Yashi? I won't force a marriage, and Tsunade will kill me. However, I tried. Yashi nodded at this. I would ask for pardon? Naruto said it. What of Gaara? Orochimaru looked at the blonde and Hiyashi frowned at the interruption. What do you mean? Ryuga asked. My teammate and my best friend Gaara is the son of the current Kazekage. He's also out on the Genin. If you want a mock hand fasting, what better security than that of a current Kage? Naruto sighed. Besides, I have enough trouble with four girls. If I were to even pretend to do this, I'd be killed by one of them before Kazan could even lift a finger. Orochimaru had to admit his nephew was right. The four girls that surrounded him would kill. He looked at the Yuga heiress, who looked down. What you say is correct, and with Gaara, she would not only have the protection of Oto but of Suna as well. Yashi nodded, and when you clean your clan up, she can do as she pleases. Orochimaru continued, Naruto stood. I'll go and speak with Gaara. He paused and looked at Hinata. Lady Yuga, would you like to meet him? She twitched and fiddled her finger together, and after a look to her father, she nodded. The two adults watched them retreat. You've done a wonderful job in raising him, Yashi said. The task was Tsunade's. I'm just the doting uncle who taught him cool jutsus and who how to make poisons, Orochimaru said. You all raised him. I bet he hasn't shown a tenth of his skill, Yashi said. You're right, of course. It's an argument between us which of us is going to replace Sasuke when the time comes. Retiring? Hiyashi asked with a grin. Well, I am the leader of Oto. Shiraya wants to work on his books, and Tsunade? He shook his head. Naruto and Anko were raised to succeed us. He finally said, we taught them both all we know, and we tried to teach them right and wrong. Hiyashi was quiet in thought. I always wondered how things would have turned out if Naruto had been raised in Konoha. Orochimaru snorted. You'd either be a cold, emotionless weapon, an idiot, or dead. You really don't see Konoha doing well for him, do you? Hiyashi. Since the day he was born, and the QB sealed inside of him, he had numerous assassination attempts, one of which was his father's pupil, Kakashi Hatake. His return here for exams has been nothing but looks of hatred. Yashi bowed his head. He remembered Minato, and from what he could see, his son raised by the Sannin would surpass him in every way, including in ways of the heart. Link Bray. Naruto had to laugh at the looks of his friend's face when he locked him and Hinata in the same room and told them to get to know one another after he explained the plan. You're in good mood, Naruto-kun. Haku said, appearing out of an ice mirror. I am, Haku-chan. Just introduced Gaara to his future bride and locked the door with a time delay seal. Haku looked back at the door. Isn't that your room as well, Naruto-kun? The ice mistress said, Oh yeah. He scattered the back of his head and looked back sheepishly. Haku chuckled. Come with me, she said, and created an ice mirror and pulled him in just as Kin and Tayoya came around the corner. That bitch! Link break. Haku-chan? Naruto said as they appeared atop of the Hokage monument. His question was cut short as Haku leaned in and kissed him. Time stopped for Naruto as the girl in his arms pressed in closer, her kiss short-circuiting his mind and kick-started his libido. Link break elsewhere. Report, Naruto ordered as he looked at the examination room. The Uchiha's chakra has been drained, and we've already removed his eyes, my lord. A scientist reported. Good. News from Konoha, Naruto said. There is an uproar. They are trying to force Orochimaru of Oto to turn over the QB bread. Nata snorted. The Sannin will let Konoha burn before they hand over Naruto. Nata muttered and stopped. Get me Kano. I have a job for him. As you command, Lord Natas. The skull-masked Natas stood looking at the tank where Sasuke Uchiha floated in chemicals with numerous tubes running into him. Don't worry, Sasuke. You'll be returned to Konoha. Just different. Then, when you left, he looked at the two tanks of chemicals. Chemical X. Wonder that will do to you. He nodded to the doctor as he turned to meet with his warriors. Much to do, and only 1 month to do it in. A chuckle made various technicians shudder as he paused. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this part of, guys. I hope you like this one, and if you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the next part of what if Naruto was separated from his family as well. This is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing out. Peace.